Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be making chicken noodle soup. So to start off, I cleaned these chicken legs off, put them in this pot, and I seasoned them with black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and seasoning salt. I chopped up some onions over here, and I got some green peppers out the freezer, some little carrots that I got from dinner last night. I'll add later. But now I'll just add in my onion and my green pepper. At this point, if you want to add chicken stock to boil your chicken in, that'll be very flavorful. But since my chicken is boned in, I'm just going to add water, and I have a little chicken stock that I'll use later if I need to thin the soup out. So I'll just add in some cold water, and you want to add in just enough to cover the chicken. There's 10 pieces in here. I'm going to use this for, I'm going to make this for lunch this week. So if you don't know, I am a special ed teacher, so I'm just prepping this for lunch this week. So the chicken is completely covered, so I'm going to turn it off now. And I'm going to let it come to a boil on the stove. I'll place the pot over high heat so it could get started. The pot's now on the stove, so I'm just going to add a top now and let it boil. Chicken boils fairly quickly, so it'll only need probably 20 to 30 minutes. Maybe more like 30. These are legs. So you always want to start with cold water because the chicken is cold, so you don't want to like add hot water. So the water is cold, everything is cold, so it'll all heat up together. I'm just going to put the top on and let it hang out for a bit. So as you see, I placed the top on, and now I'm just going to let it hang out and come to a boil. The pot is starting to come to a boil. It's not probably boiling yet, but I feel it's getting hot on the side. I can see some condensation up here. So let's just check in and see what's going on. So it's starting to come together. Not quite boiling yet, but this is just an update of how far it's, well, of how it's looking. So here's me actually stirring it. You see the chicken is already starting to cook and change in color. So chicken literally takes no time. At this point, as it's starting to come together and cook, I'm going to set my timer for about 20 minutes, and then I'll just let it continue to cook. This is pretty much everything else I'll need to finish up my soup. I have my cream of mushroom. I typically would use cream of chicken, but I don't have any cream of chicken, and I have tried cream of mushroom, and it actually gives it a really great flavor. But that just helps to thicken the broth, and it gives it flavor. You see, I have my little carrots here. I added some more. I have some chicken stock from Aldi, and I'll use this just if it's too thin, if I want it to be more liquidy. And then of course, I have my egg noodles here. So this is what I'll be using to finish off. If you have celery on hand, that will work great as well, but I don't have any celery, so I'm the type to use what you have to eat what you want. So I did just set the timer for 20 minutes for the chicken noodle soup. The timer is on 13 minutes. So let's see what's going on. It is boiling, boiling, boiling. So I'll just do a little stirring just to make sure everything is good. So yeah, looks good, and it really is cooking good. So, and when it's 13 minutes is over, I probably will be ready to add the rest. Now, for me, my preference, I leave the meat on the bone. A lot of people like to take the meat off the bone. So if you're the type who likes the meat off the bone, when this is done cooking, you can shred all the chicken legs. But I actually like to just leave them on the bone. So I will not be shredding the chicken off at this time. But that is completely up to you. And you can use chicken wings. I love wings in there. You can use chicken breasts and chop those up. You can use chicken thighs. You can use whatever chicken parts you want. You can use a whole chicken. It's entirely up to you. So I have about 7 minutes left on my timer. And as I stir, I can tell that I will need to add the chicken stock because there's not much room in here. And I still have to add the noodles. And I do not like my chicken soup to be really thick. I like it to be, well, not too soupy, but I need some broth in there. So I don't want all the noodles to absorb all the water. So I will have to add some more chicken stock later. I have about 1 minute left on my timer. So, well, less than a minute now. So I'm going to take my top off and see what's going on. Now, as these legs are starting to cook, some of the pieces of the chicken starts to fall off. If you're not sure if your chicken is done at this point, you can always go in and check it. But I know it's been in here about boiling for 20 minutes, in the water for 30. So I know that it is done to my liking. So you see how it's starting to break open like that? I know that it's pretty much done. But like I said, if you aren't sure, you can always, you know, like break a piece open to see. Or you can even stab a piece. Like I just stabbed a piece. But you see it's done to the bone, which I already know. So at this time, if you have cream of chicken, that's what you should add. But I have cream of mushroom, so I'm going to add in cream of mushroom soup. That's my timer. No, it's very gelatinous. So pop that in there and give it a stir. Because you want that to break down. This is what's going to really thicken your soup. So just stir that in really well. And once it comes back to a boil, all those pieces will break down if there are any chunks. So before I add the chicken stock, I do want it to try to come back up to a little boil. So let's see if we can get that to happen. Yep, it's starting to come back up to a boil. So once it gets rolling, I will stir it again to make sure that all of the cream of mushroom is incorporated. And I'm not going to add this whole container of chicken stock. I'll probably add like a fourth of the container. I only want a little bit more liquid. Like I said, I don't want it too liquidy, but I just want it enough to where my noodles are not dried out. And I mean, if it looks too thick at the end, I can add chicken stock at that time as well. But I do have quite a bit of noodles that I am adding. These are the noodles that I'm going to add. So it's quite a bit of noodles. So I may add additional chicken stock if it's needed. So I'm just going to get this bubbling really good so I can break down that cream of mushroom soup. So I'll just give it a few minutes to just boil and do its thing. So I'm going to add a little chicken stock at this time. Okay. And let that come back up to a boil. The chicken stock is cold because it was in the refrigerator. So It did bring the temperature down a little bit. But there's more hot liquid than cold, so it should start back up fairly quickly. Yep, and it's starting to bubble a little bit, so it'll be back boiling in a few minutes. Okay, so it came back up to a boil. What I'm going to do now is add in my carrots here and my noodles. And let me just give them a stir. It feels thick. Ooh. I need some more chicken stock. I don't want it too thick. So I have my chicken stock back there. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest. I really do want some broth in here and give the noodles some love. So I'm going to put the top back on here and let these continue to cook. Alright, so I've turned it down to a simmer. So I'll let it simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes and I'll show you how it looks after it thickens. So it has to simmer a little bit to thicken a little more. And keep in mind, as it cools, it will thicken. So this is my soup. It's all done. I've added some parsley to it. So it's perfect. Got my noodles, my chicken legs. So I'll just let it sit uncovered for a while and that'll help it thicken and cool off. And then I'll just put it in my meal prep containers for the week. So I'll be having chicken noodle soup for 4 days this week. So I'll prep 4 bowls and I could probably have a bowl tonight. Put 2 chicken legs in each bowl, like a half a cup of noodles or something. So I hope you like the video. You see a few carrots in there. So this is my chicken noodle soup. Like I said, if you don't want the bone in, you can just you can peel the meat off. But I just saw a bone in here by itself, so the meat comes off the bone as well. So thank you all for watching. And just to make sure that your broth is good, you always want to taste your broth. So just get a little bit like that and just make sure it tastes good. And if you need to add anything, salt, pepper, just season it to your liking. So thank you for watching. Bye bye. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. As you see, when you let the soup sit, it starts to thicken and it looks very good. So this is the finished product. Chicken noodle soup with cream of mushroom. Thanks for watching.